Hello! Here we are, we're doing more Testulous. It is currently 8:16 United States of America Central Standard Time, August 2nd, 2023. We're on Pillars, we got a 4v4 3K, Team 1, ANS, Mechanaut, Dramus, Puppy from Hell, and Goodnot, all in voice comms, Team 2, OSP, Crow X8, Warclops, It's Just Virgil, and Not So Lone Wolf. All in voice comms as well. We're joined in the casting booth by Captain Chaos, Seabot, Corbo, and El Zombie. They'll be in and out at various intervals throughout this. Perhaps some might simply lurk. Telling ultimately is nice to have perspectives from different people when we're doing these sorts of things. Obviously, I normally don't do this when we're doing casted games. I'm either rocking it solo or have one extra buddy riding along. But things are different since we're on the testing branch. As many eyes and brains on any given problem is nice to have. Especially these folks. They know their stuff. Sometimes. We have, looks like the ANS team is actually aiming to go under the map, which is a decision that can be made. Specifically looking like Dramus and Puppy are trying to go under the map, which means Puppy's probably rocking a beam team of some sort or another. Might be an Axford, more likely destroyers. I'm not sure what Dramus is rocking. What's this teal and white? I think this teal and white is Wolf. Let's check it. MSP. It's Goodnut. Teal and white is Goodnut. Okay. So he's got a 250 and 450 and Hybrid 3, maybe Torpedo, Axford. A little bit of both. A little bit of both. Okay. Some point defense. He's got a beam that he's deployed on the completely opposite side of the map from there. Oh my, they're all down there. What the fuck? What are y'all doing? Okay. Let's see it. It better be good, guys. I'm going to be real disappointed if this is just an instant defeat. We've got one of Dramus's missile monster scouts, Captain Delta, one Captain Charlie, and everything else on the ANS team is blobbed up. Oh, I see. Okay, they're not going onto the map. They're doing the B rush is what they're doing. All right, so this is obviously Puppy's idea, who is bringing a battleship. Don't see that very often. Puppy from Hell in the shaved steak, a beam battleship with a bullseye in the giant slot. I mean, it's not a bad spot for it. It's just goofy looking. He also has hang-ups on his hips. Some AMMs. Weird PD setup.
The enemy is securing zone box.
Good luck, brother man. I mean, he's better at this game than I am, so we'll hope he knows what he's doing. He's got 2 blankets, 2 more bullseyes on his scouts. Nice, I like the jamming. Mechanaut. 450 Axford. 2 of them. AMMs on the back. Plus chaff. Fly swatter, so not AMMs. Offensive S1s. Okay, looks like he's getting stuck in and firing immediately at Wolf. Wolf is on OSB side. Whoops. At Wolf's bulkers.
The enemy secured zone comet.
Dramus. We gotta finish going through these fleets. You'll need to stop playing the game. I have to go through these fleets. And Laddle, so that's a fighting voxel plus a pack of sprinters. He's escorted by 2 E-War sprinters, which is actually genius. This could do so much work, blinding people. And then he has 3 scouts off on the map elsewhere. We've already done Goodnight. We didn't look at the lighthouse, which is more jamming. So much jamming going down the field. And the ANS team is mostly invisible. The Axfords aren't, but the battleship is, because it's right up in the middle of all this jamming. That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. You can make an Axford or a battleship disappear against OSP sensors with enough jamming. That is a real thing that is possible. I've said it before in balanced discussion. People are like, no, you can't do that. You need a ridiculous amount. And you know what? Maybe this is a ridiculous amount, but it works. Wolf. Triple 450 bulkers. Rocking the C60 instead of the C65 for some reason. I actually have no idea why you would choose that. Because the C65 is just straight up better, and I'm pretty much every way. I guess C60 has a little bit better reload time. He's got 5 ammo elevators in this, which is a little overkill. Cut it off with 4-1. That's fine. Wolf hasn't been playing that much lately, so he's not up and up on all the Sweat Lord stretch, which is fine. I mean, I wouldn't exactly call this ANS team. Sweaty Bunny and Stretch of the Imagination. Virgil's Bulker eating... Wow. What is this? This is 100 mil and Plasma Bulker. Okay. And it's eating a ton of 450 fire and getting Rectorinoed. And hasn't properly oriented to shoot down there because it can't freaking see anything down there. Okay, the battleship has become visible. Meganauts Axfords are still visible, but yeah, this thing is taking quite the pounding. Presumably that's what this is. Yeah. Plasma and 100 mil Bulker. Also got a scout monitor, just an LRT actually. No, no EWR. Man, that B push is happening so fast. This fight's already started, and the LRT hasn't gotten turned around from spawn. Little scout that has gone to capture Echo, and has also managed to cap 3 points. They're on Alpha. Part of the OSP team is over Delta side. Just gonna make this incredible Delta ball on Bravo that much more powerful. Wolf recognizing the correct thing to do here is actually just to fucking get to cover and not fight this until the rest of the team can be brought to bear. Unfortunately, that would be a really good idea if this was all guns. Problem is, beams are coming up now. You really don't want to let the beam ship get close, but the beam ship's definitely going to get close to tear things apart. I think ANS actually might just win this right here, right now, because if this beam ship gets up here and puppy battle shorts like a madman, like I know he wants to, he can just start tearing these bulkers apart. Although they are rotating around the Bravo rock very effectively, so they could make a run for Charlie and then split off from there and go half and half Delta and Alpha if the Death Blob continues heading towards Bravo. This is what a Death Blob is, by the way. A lot of people throw that term around when there's like more than 3 ships standing within 2 kilometers of each other, and that's not correct. Damn, Virgil's ship getting downed. This is what it is, where you take 9,000 points and you smash them all together. God, this is probably closer to 10k, actually. And you say, okay, all this is just going to fly together all at the same time in one direction. That's a fucking death ball. And it's very dangerous, and you have to deal with it in a very specific way, and it looks like Wolf is handling that fairly effectively. Although he's going to be rotating back to take that fight and start popping shots down the field. I don't think he realizes that there is a beam battleship in there.
The enemy is
Crow ships. We haven't even gone through all the OSP vessels because of how intense this action has been. Crow ships, 2 rail Ocellos, and a little Pavis tug with C-30s on it, which also hasn't been positioned at all because combat happened immediately. I think the rail ships are a good play. 450 Axford taking some 450 fire on the roof. Really not doing that much damage. Oh, there it is. There's the damage. 100 mil coming in as well, but the plasma isn't really cutting it.
The enemy secured zone boxer.
The beam coming out. Well, for just a second. A lot of hybrids. A lot of hybrids going into Wolf's Bulker here. Kind of a problem. You usually don't want to be eating missiles to the face.
The enemy is securing zone dagger.
Beam coming out. Not really doing that much. Oranging and birthing. Yeah, whatever. More beam. We'll be back to more beams after these messages. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. And this whole team is getting torn to shreds by this death bolt. It is extremely effective. Are these fucking cluster decoy missiles? No, he just fired a lot of them. Just normal ass torpedoes, no hybrids, nothing. S3s, love to see it. Very effective. Who's shooting this, by the way? It's Megonaut. Very nice. Very well done. Bulker's getting cut to shreds.
The enemy secured zone dagger.
Yeah, not a whole lot to say at this point. Like I was saying
Zone dagger.
when all this started, that the ANS might just win this off the B push, and that's exactly what's happening.
I think the problem is OSP is going for heavy ships, and the advantage of OSP is its numbers.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, they're trying to take the straight up fight for sure, zombie, and it's just not cutting it.
Yeah, because right now that beam ship is gonna be a detriment because losing just one ship, it's a really big loss. And in a fight, obviously, this kind of fight with heavy ships, ANS is gonna win.
Yeah. Yeah, specifically on the test bench. I think on main, actually, the ANS would have just kind of lost this. Because of how many bulkers are here.
Yeah, they are ANS is being like getting risky right now. It's to its post. I think if this was main branch, they will be destroyed by bulkers.
Yeah, they just wouldn't be able to repair enough.
I mean, you can see it happening with the Axfords. The Axfords are getting torn up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
But I think they're going to be able to get to cover and actually recover into a fighting fit state.
Yeah, they have nearly all their engines are good. Well, maybe not.
The enemy is securing zone dagger.
Something that I've experienced against the rail Acellos is that if a beam battleship is being railed by ANS rails, its killing power gets greatly diminished.
Yeah, it gets main bus
the power
shortage.
withdrawal happens, and then yeah, main bus shortage,
Yeah, yeah.
and then the FBAs aren't in effect anymore.
Yeah, it just gets debuffed into the fucking sun.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same for guns though.
It's not as bad
I've-
since those buff modules are a lot cheaper on the power. But,
Yeah, and they just affect reload, not your damage.
Yeah, exactly. And so that affects your DPS, but it's like it's the difference between it's a moderate damage debuff compared to I literally can't hurt you beyond a certain range anymore,
Yeah, so
which is a colossal
The enemy
problem.
secured zone
a
A.
rail
Oh, it appears
Acellos.
that's for is getting into cover.
Yeah, extras are playing the rocks. So rail Acellos are like, strangely enough, finding a place right now.
Yeah, and I think that's good because before Rail Acellos, I don't think really had much of a place. I think Rail Axfords absolutely had a place, but Rail Acellos,
Yeah, for sure.
because you'd just be better off with the fucking 450.
Yeah.
I still like the automatic atmosphere leak suggestion, but otherwise, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree
with that too. What? And my rail gun shoots you and doesn't actually make a hole? That's odd.
Yeah, there was a bolt missing and it went through that hole.
Yeah. That's silly.
Thanks, I thought so.
The
Because we
enemy
have
Uh-oh.
sea rails
zone
against
dagger.
gun battleships, and they just haven't cut the mustard.
No, not at all.
No, it's beam ships that are specifically. It's good against. This Ocello is getting beamed by a destroyer.
Where is this happening?
Oh, that's gonna
It's
hurt.
by Charlie.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
Yeah, it's in Charlie.
If the DD can hit right.
I mean, it's the DD, so it can be short until it does, and it's gun.
Yeah, it's already read it out.
Oh. Unlucky, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's just the B short randomness being weird or something. Those offensive size ones on the Ocello? Yep, looks like it. Hmm.
Man. One of the downsides with the repair changes is that rail Ocellos are actually, there's also a reduction in power side of things because now burning shit down is dramatically less effective
Yeah, true.
because it'll be easier to repair that before it can pass the 25% threshold.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, people will just bring DC in the first place.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
there's also that. More people are going to be bringing DC for sure.
I'm very happy that DC is better. It's such a good idea.
I think everyone is. I mean, that's an idea that's been floated a
The
lot
enemy is securing zone
in
admins.
balanced contemplation, specifically that like DC needs to matter, and I think making them
Yeah.
matter specifically on capital ships is absolutely a good idea.
Mhm.
Instead of just like doing price buffs across the board, which is what a lot of people
Yep.
suggested, and
Well, and if you improve the overall game at the cost of railguns, how many people are going to complain about that? Really?
yeah, it's like it's just me. I
Yeah,
think.
don't mess with the
Crow.
Rails fans. They are like 3.
Yeah, it's me, Crow, and Pyrope are people who use the Mark 81. And that's
Mhm.
kind of it.
The enemy is securing zone dagger.
I mean, I went hard on it earlier in my life cycle of Neb, but I stopped because I could not make it good.
You have to play in a very particular way. It's definitely
Enemy
hard.
secured zone
It's
atlas.
real hard to make worth.
Feels like you have to try too hard. It's just silly.
Oh yeah, it's like it's a lot of work. It's extremely difficult to do, but when you
And
do
for
it,
what payoff?
it's actually really good. It can be.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, on the ANS side, you can cause a lot of problems. In OSP ships, since they tend to bring low DC. Liners are kind of all you're not all that good at. You're really good at swatting down shuttles at extremely long ranges. You're phenomenal against Ocellos. You perform well against monitors, but everything performs well against monitors, and you're also pretty damn good against tugs.
Tugs. Yeah. Tugs, I
You're not going to be killing anything really
think
fast.
would be the best because they have the low DC. Yeah.
The enemy is securing
But you
zone
are
eclipse.
going to be really disrupting, and you're controlling your enemy's behavior is what the key thing is.
Correct.
With capital rails is you're preventing them from playing the game how they want to play the game, and you say no, you can't stand over here,
Yeesh.
fuck off, go somewhere else. And that's really
Let my beam
powerful.
ship through. Just go away from my beam buddy. Don't hurt him. Go somewhere else.
It's more like cap control. You put it in somewhere
Yeah,
kind of
true.
open, like on pillars. You park some Axfords down below Charlie Rock, and some rail Axfords, and they can see C. They can see Delta. They can see Alpha. They can move to see Echo very easily, and they can see most of the sight lines near Bravo. And you just
Right.
control the whole map. So, okay, nothing's allowed to stand within 9 kilometers of the middle of the map, or they get banished to the fucking Shadow Realm. And that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Trying to see if there's anything of note happening.
Not really.
It's just ANS be pushed and then took over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
right now it's dominating really hard.
Yeah.
OSP's trying to make something work. Echo Delta side, but they just can't. They just don't have the mass anymore. The last 2 bulkers,
The enemy secured
the
zone
Raelicellos aren't cutting it at all. And the last 3 bulkers actually, and Wolf's not able to find a good angle.
I am curious at this
Yeah.
point what those damaged Axfords look like.
Let's take a
I'll
look.
get you that.
Pretty fucking good, considering how they looked when we last took a gander at them.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Yeah, because they just went to cover and they repaired, and now they're, like I said earlier, they're fighting fit. This Axford
Yep,
looks like it's
up
been in
to-
a light scuffle.
Yeah, one of these Axfords got their. I think it was actually Good Nuts Axford that got one of its drives or something knocked out. I think it was this one. Now it's up to 45%.
I mean, we can actually see how much fire these things have taken. Just look at look at all that 450 rounds, and 250, and plasmas.
Mhm.
Look at it, and it's
The enemy is securing zone
healthy.
tag.
I mean, it's not amazing, it's not perfect, and it's out of restores, but that's
Yeah.
a dangerous ship. And
Mhm.
I don't know, man. That might be a little too good.
Just gotta bring back the numbers a little bit. That's all.
Well, I think OSP is just gonna have to adapt tactics, because something I've been really wanting to see is a good missile player on OSP. We haven't seen that yet, because I think a good missile player on OSP can really punish the backing off and repairing. It's like, oh, I'm really beat up. I've eaten a lot of 450. I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna repair a little bit. And it's like, oh, you're hiding behind a rock. Great. Let me
Whoa.
just sneak my missiles around there, give you 200 meters of uptime on your PD, get 90% of my missiles through, and red
Yeah.
out literally everything. Repair from that, bitch.
Yep. I mean, they probably could.
Yeah, but there's a big
At this
difference
stage.
from.
Maybe people will start paying the PD tax. Finally.
That'll never happen. Let's be honest.
Well, that's
Yeah, I
even
know.
with good PD. People have been bringing pretty good PD lately. I'm just saying, like, if they're beat up enough that their PD is disrupted, and even they
yeah,
don't even
yeah.
have to be disrupted. Like, you could have a perfectly fine PD
Right.
net, but if you're behind a rock, you could still
You
get
can get a
easily
good
missiled.
angle.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you've done that to me, like
I've done that to
2 or
everyone.
3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I just keep an eye on the battlefield, and someone's going to cover, and it's like, oh, hey, you're not allowed to do that. I guess missiles, I play missiles the opposite of how I play rails, really. Is that, with rails, you make people go to cover, and you keep them from standing out in open space and controlling points. With
Right.
missiles, you tell people they're not allowed to be in cover. You say, hey, you have to fight my team. You're not allowed to hide anymore. You go to cover, I get free damage on you.
Yeah. Puppy's BB, interesting. He put the bullseye in the class 4 slot.
Yeah.
And then put a rebound in the
Nose.
nose.
Yep.
That's weird. I don't like that.
It's for angling. It is definitely weird.
Oh.
But it's also for safety. That nose mount's a lot less safe than the C4. So the
Even though
bullseye's,
it's bigger.
yeah, bullseye's gonna survive a lot longer up there.
Hmm.
Greetings. And so that's why I think he put that there. It also might just be Puppy's a fucking meme lord, and that's a
Yeah.
possibility. Also, having the rebound on the nose gives it better firing angles, I think, than having it up on the C4 because it can like reach further out. Oh man, 3 beams, right into the
Nothing
cheesy
is wasted.
cluster spell
Oh,
combos.
there it is.
It's hitting his ones.
That's his name. It's funny.
Fucking crows,
Not
DJ
dealing
names.
damage for a little bit. Oh, and it goes to the drive section. Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Oof,
that thing's in big trouble.
nearly
Yeah, its
dead.
drive is out. It's only got one. Oh, but he's drifting into cover. Drag
Lucky
changes.
bastard. What I'm
That's funny.
surprised by is how healthy the BB is. Like,
Oh yeah,
he fight against the bulkers and he's being hit by the rails and still fairly healthy. Like, really healthy.
yeah, and he's gonna be
kinda
able to
orange.
repair way back even higher than what he already is right now. He's got an extra 35% on everything. He's gonna repair almost everything to above 60%.
Yeah, with these buffs, I think beam BBs are gonna be really dangerous because now you can
They're
tank
ridiculous.
a lot more of fire.
Securing zone eclipse.
Yeah, that's something we've been talking about
Enemy is securing
as
zone
well.
boxer.
Something I've been talking with Wolf about and with the guys in balance discussion is that, you know, Beam BB is already pretty strong, but with all these changes to the hull specifically, like it has the potential to be a monster. And
Oh, yes.
maybe that's fine since it's so limited by range. But it's
Yeah.
just something that needs to be kept an eye on.
For sure. I of the personal opinion that like I was playing Plasma against the Beam Battleship on the test server, and what I came across is, oh, my Plasma is falling off in armor damage. I'm not getting the full effect. I need to close the distance. But it's a Beam Battleship. I can't do that.
Yeah, well, but it will stack though, so it just means you just have to fire more. So you hold range and you
Yeah.
fire more.
Secured zone boxer.
The thing is, if you're doing it at range like that, it's better just to simply use 250s because all you need is one plasma splash and it still enables 250 HE.
Correct. I do use a 250 SLO with it, so I can take advantage of it. It's just Plaza 100 mils. Rough.
Yeah, 100 mil's kind of rough right now. Just because plasma like can't actually support it in a damage capacity, and 100 mil
No.
doesn't have the raw damage on its own to be worth the plasma 100 all in.
Like, the only way you can do the 100mm plasma is if you go truly all in on the plasma 100mm.
The enemy is
It's like
securing zone
when you
dagger.
have when you have plasma, it's more of like how quickly do you want to enable like HEHC, you know? So the
Yeah.
more plasma you have, the faster you'll get it. But once the armor is fully stripped, then the plasma's kind of useless because
Yeah.
it doesn't do much damage.
That's something I was trying when I was firing on that beam battleship is, or something I was thinking about is, well, I could fire HE for now, and like it'll probably go through because I think the minimum damage plasma does is 30, and so HE pens 35 on 100 mil.
Yeah, but you still
So-
got angling.
Yeah, you got angling though, so it's like, well, I could shoot AP, I guess.
Which is pain.
No, this is pain.
So it
Or
doesn't do
grape,
that
you know,
much.
grape wouldn't pen. I don't know.
Grape wouldn't pen.
Just stuff that I've been thinking about.
Alright, that's a pretty strong ANS victory there. Won by almost 500 points. Let's take a look at these ships. Good, not doing some goalie stuff. Yeah,
Howdy,
23,000 damage on this. Fuck crazy. There's the man
OSP went
himself.
really heavy on heavy ships and pay the price.
24,000 for Mechanon. Only
23.
18,000 damage on the main battleship, but it just ate so much. It repaired. So, okay, so I'm gonna to go look at the Falcon Beam battleship
Keep in mind,
and
only
look at the
18,000
damage.
damage. But also, you guys couldn't get close to me.
Compare the damage
That's just how beam
received.
battleships work.
Compare the damage received and the damage repaired.
Yeah.
And notice something a little interesting about that.
That's
That's not
interesting.
the first time that happens
That's-
because it counts B short and flank damage. and
Yeah,
damage
be short
repaired.
and flank
Right.
damage.
Well, damage repaired on beam ships is often higher than damage received if they're played well. The difference is this is a lot higher. This is 2,200 points higher than
It's
damage
the
received, which is a
30%
fucking
repair,
lot.
isn't it? Right.
Yes.
I see
So
nothing.
if you only take a battleship down to 70%, it could repair up to back to 100, right?
Yep.
It can, and I did.
Yeah,
Multiple
that's-
times.
And it looks like the things that I was shooting at with my rails didn't care.
Oh,
Pretty
I
much.
cared.
I cared.
No, I cared. Like
I can't decide if that's yeah.
I've had to choose between firing my guns or using my radar a few times because of the rails and the debuffs.
Yep. And you disabled my Axford fort for a good like 5-7 minutes, where I just
Yeah, I mean, I was shooting at you more than anyone.
yeah.
But,
I
like, look at the damage on the axe for like look at the damage at everything I shot at, because I shot at every big ship, and it's just like normally I would expect to see more yellow and orange and less green.
I'm very happy with how torpedoes are operating as a sidearm on my heavy cruiser.
Yeah,
Just
that
sample size of 1.
my PD was roughed up by that, but I think that would have worked either way. Just because I lost my Auroras, and Auroras aren't great against torpedoes.
Yeah. Yeah, burning through decoys and then trying to be short through torpedoes, they're gonna burn out.
Yeah.
So, battleship. I'm definitely tougher than I have been in the past. Like the buffs did the thing they were supposed to do. I can't decide if it's too tough or not. I feel like maybe.
The general
yeah.
consensus
I think it
lately
is.
has
If it had the
been
same,
that
It's hard
just
to
a
tell with
little
all the
too
extra
tough.
fluff of who's better than who if you don't just do like a straight damage test. But
So I made 2 traversals that game that were traversals I probably wouldn't have made so freely.
Yeah, the Bravo Alpha.
The
For
getting
sure.
from Bravo to Alpha and then from the one rock on Alpha to the other rock on
Yeah,
Alpha.
yeah.
Mhm.
Very
Those-
unsafe.
Unsafe. I was getting shot at most of the time, and I was a little concerned on the Bravo Alpha traversal.
Just a little.
Just,
you were
just
fine.
a little. I ended up being fine, but I was concerned.
Those are 2 very bold, blatant plays that you did solo that you probably should have been punished for, and you just weren't, because your armor is really high and your repair threshold is really high.
It's just the armor plus this repairing stuff
Yeah,
combined.
it's both of them combined.
It's
I see.
both compounding. It's just ridiculous.
there's
I think-
that, but our fleet composition was also a bit whack, and that we brought.
Yeah.
I feel like if we had brought actual C-65 bulkers and dropped into that, like is the norm in OSP, I feel like the combined damage may be enough so that you're below that 30% threshold where you're 100% again, but it's just hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah, it's partly my fault. I wanted to try C60s again.
So
but this was not this. Yeah, they're just shit.
okay, that's what I was gonna ask actually. Is why C60s? Because they're just awful.
I don't know because I had a fleet and I wanted to try it. but-
Okay.
I see.
Justified.
Just to
I
find out.
also kind of thought like maybe because with the like repairability, maybe sustained damage wouldn't be like as bad because then because with
No.
burst, they repair in between. But no, it doesn't make any difference because they just duck into a rock or your bulker gets caught in a rock and you stop the damage. So no, it's just shit. I don't know what I was thinking, but whatever.
I mean, you did
Tried it.
15,000 damage.
I mean, yeah, I did more damage than anyone else on my team, but like, I still, I could, it was still shit. I was still
Damn.
complete shit, right? I'm sorry. That
You
came out
What a
really.
shit.
I did
You
not
also
mean.
got-
I did
You
not
are
mean.
less
I
shit.
did
Oh
not
my
mean
God.
to just betray my entire team like that. I'm sorry. I don't mean you guys are shit.
Jesus.
I mean I'm shit. I'm sorry. I should have brought a better
Man,
fleet.
look at this man.
I'm
Using
shit.
his
It's
position
better than
as
all
a
of you.
mod
Fuck you.
to fucking
No, damage is not the
shit
end all.
on every.
All right. We got about 20 people in the chat now, and you're seeing about how that's going. And sorry, someone DM'd me. I needed to respond. It's kind of important. We care about Neb. God damn, this is so many. This is more than your average fight night, and we're just doing testing games. So many people here. I love to see it. So many folks are excited for participating in the development of Nebulous Fleet Command, and I love to see it. This is a magical game. This is something that is just beyond anything I have ever played before. And probably beyond anything I will play, at least for the next 10 or 15 years. And so that's what we're doing. And it brings me great joy and excitement, and so many people want to get involved in this. If you want to get involved in this, if you want to be a part of this, be part of the madness. Oh, my overlay isn't working anymore. Great. So I guess you can't see how many people are actually in this fucking lobby. Kind of annoying. Then come on down. Got a link in the description. And we'll be happy to have you. We got people all skill levels hanging out here in La Coliseum. Always looking for more folks to game with. Maybe I'll see you there, maybe I won't. But I know one thing's for sure. I'll see you in the battle space.